Kakadosh Boker Or, Mishna Yomi, Masechet Bava Kamma, Perek, chapter 8, Mishna Gimel and Dalid, Mishnah 3 and 4. Mishnah Gimel, the first part is going to be speaking about somebody that hits his parents and causes a chabura. Remember, if somebody hits his parents and causes a chabura, they are chayav mitah. They are chayav the death penalty. Now, if somebody is going to hit anyone on Shabbat and causes bleeding, is also going to have the death penalty, but not on Kippur. Remember, if a person comes and he hits somebody on Shabbat, so hitting somebody, he doesn't get, if it's not his parents, he's not chayav mitah. But the fact that he causes the chabura, which means that he caused bleeding and things like that on Shabbat, that is an av melacha, so therefore he's chayav mitah. But but on Kippur, there's no death penalty. Remember that Kippur is only karet, right? V'nichreta, it's written. It's not, there's no death penalty on Kippur. It is only on Shabbat. What? No, general. Somebody that's mechalel Kippur, the maximum penalty is karet. Somebody that's mechalel Shabbat, the maximum penalty is sekila, right? Death penalty. Okay, so we're going to start. Hamaket aviv et imo. Somebody's going to hit his father and his mother. Velo asa b'hem chabura. But he did not make a wound. So now, he did not make a wound. V'chovel b'chavero b'yom kippur. Somebody that comes and he does make a wound to another person on Kippur, chayav bekulan. He has to pay the 5 damages. Why? Right? He says here, usually when there's a death penalty and money, right, we say kim lebed mineh, which means you give him the stricter punishment and he gets killed and he doesn't have to pay. But here, it does not imply these cases. Why? Because since he doesn't cause a bruise to his parents, so he doesn't get killed. He was over in Avera, but he doesn't get killed. And the same in the second case, Kippur, he doesn't get killed. So even though he did make a chabura on Kippur to a guy, meaning he wounded the guy and he caused him to bleed or whatever it is, but there's no death penalty. So therefore, he has to pay the 5 damages. Okay? Next halacha. Achovel be'eved ivri. One of the person comes and he hits an eved ivri. So there's a Jewish slave. So, chayav bekulan. He has to pay for everything. Except for chutz min hashevet, bizman shelo, except for unemployment or loss of employment when he belongs to him. Meaning, whenever he comes and he hits his own slave, so he has to pay him the 4 damages. But the 5th damage, which is going to be the loss of employment, that's only if he doesn't work for him. Because if he works for him, who's he going to pay? Himself. So he doesn't have to pay. But if he works for somebody else, he has to pay the other guy, obviously. Hachovel be'eved kenani shel acherim. If somebody's going to hit an eved kenani that belongs to somebody else, he's chayav bekulan. He's obligated to pay for everything, just like a regular free man. Here it says all the payments are made to his master, with the exception of healing, which is made to the doctor, obviously. Because the doctor is the one that gets the doctor's bills, not anybody else. Okay? Fine. Rabbi Yehuda, he disagrees on one point. Rabbi Yehuda comes and he argues and he says, En lavadim boshet. An eved kenani, there's no embarrassment. Which means if you're going to come and you're going to hit an eved kenani, you do not have to pay for embarrassment, so you have to pay for the other 4, which is basically damages, right? The nezek, the tsar, the pain, the suffering, right? The boshet you don't have to pay. But the ripui, which is the healing, and the loss of employment, which is shevet. But you don't have to pay for boshet, because according to, which is embarrassment, because according to Shitat Rabbi Yehuda, there's no boshet for an eved kenani. Mishnah Dalid. Okay? Cheresh shotev katan. Pegiatan ra'ah. Do you know the worst people to meet is a cheresh shotev katan? Remember, a cheresh shotev katan is a deaf mute. A shoteh is a person which is incompetent, which means he's not 100% there, and a minor. Why is it always harmful? Because you always lose out. Meaning they always have the upper hand. So we're going to explain. Hachovel bahen, if you hit them, you're going to be chayav. So you're obligated to pay them. Mamash, you hit a child, you have to pay for the child, for the 5 different things. You hit you have to pay. But if they hit you, they're exempt. That's why whenever you fight with them, it's always you have the lower hand. That's why he said Pegiyatan Ra'ah. It's never good, because you're always going to be the one that's going to... Which one? No, we're not talking about your own child. We're talking about somebody else's child.
Okay? Long footnote.
Yes. There's a whole question here exactly. What about afterwards? Is he still exempt from the liability or not? There's a whole question about that. That's, by the way, a very famous thing. What happens if a person's a child and he stole? Let's say he's 12 years old and he stole. All of a sudden he becomes a bar mitzvah. Now is he obligated to give it back or not? So that's the footnote. Look in the footnote. It says even after the minor becomes an adult, right? It says over here, he remains exempt from liability for the damage he caused, since he was not responsible for his actions at the time of the attack. However, someone who wounds these mentally incompetent people is saying, now the truth is though, if I remember correctly, he's patur b'dinei adam, but I think he's still chayav b'dinei shamayim, if I remember correctly. Meaning, mitzad halacha, I can't obligate him. So imagine, he's a 12 years old boy. he comes and he stole something. I can't obligate him to do anything. But when he's 13, mina shamayim they could, not min adam. I can't take him to Bet Din and get the money back. But mina shamayim, they're still there. He's obligated. That's what I remember in Halacha. What? Yeah, rak mina shamayim. Ha'eved va'isha begiatan ra. The same halacha would apply to a Canaanite slave, an eved Canaani, or a woman. Right? Why? Hachoveh bahen chayav. If you hit them, you're obligated to pay the 5 payments.
Why say married woman? Why married woman?
1 second. Vehem shechavlu ba'acherim peturim. But if they're going to come and they're going to hit someone else, they're going to be exempt. Why are they going to be exempt? Because they have no money on their own in order to pay. Right? Now you understood what exactly happened. It was a wife, right? Everything goes to the husband, and therefore she has nothing from herself. Aval meshalmin la'achar zman, but they do have to pay afterwards, right? When afterwards? Nitgarsha isha, if she got divorced, or nishtachrera eved, or the eved was freed, chayvin l'shalem. Now they're obligated to pay for the damage they did while she was married or when he was enslaved. That's when he's going to be obligated. Obviously, if it's going to be the woman that's not married, so then it's going to be different halachot, because she does have money on her own, v'chule v'chule. So obviously that's why we didn't speak about a woman that's not married. Have a wonderful day.